What is up, YouTube? So we're starting today off just like every other freaking day, but I'm still completely baffled on how well this came out yesterday. I'm super excited about it. Today is basically gonna be trying to get as many random things on as we possibly can. I woke up pretty sick this morning, so thanks to coffee and Dayquil, I am alive, but I might be a little slow. But I'm gonna try and get as much done as possible. The wrinkle paint from yesterday came out great. I'm super excited I did this last night. It's all fully cured. I love this stuff because it looks great and it hides scratches very well, and it's actually a very durable paint, so it works really good for your off accessories. The brake master cylinder looks a little new, but I'm still gonna scuff it up, make it look a little nicer before I put it in. All right, so I don't see a clutch line anywhere, so it looks like we have to, you know, buy one of those, but a braided line is a lot nicer than the OEM one, so that's not too bad. The ISR ones are pretty cheap. Now I have to go through a pile of brake lines because I had Jip take them off the other car and make sure they're all good to put on here. Alright, I completely neglected the fact that I covered up the hole that the brake line used to go through on each side, so now I gotta drill a hole and hopefully not damage the paint around it. Alright, so I got the first one. I gotta get a grommet for that later, but these little step bits is my first time really using one, and that works amazing. So I would really suggest picking a pack of these up. It probably dulls out quick, but it definitely makes life a lot easier. Alright, we got the lines in. Now I gotta figure out where the hell I put the little brackets that hold it up against the firewall. I guess I'll just have to wait for that. Drew's here.
I wore my school pants on accident today. My mom's gonna kill me.
So I've just been sending a bunch of little stuff. I got the rain tray on, I got the wiper motor back on. So it's slowly coming together. I just got all the overspray off the windshield with some paint stripper, so that's all set. But it's slowly starting to look like a car. I realized that I'd gotta get those 2 power steering lines, so I have to go visit Roger and get those before we can put the motor in. At this point, I think I'm gonna start looking at the wire harness. Drew and Richie and Bri are tackling Drew's tubs. So
hold this and then come up a little bit higher, dude.
Richie made these templates at work, and they're actually pretty sick because they're already like pre-cut arches for the S13 tubs from some measurements he took, and he used like a laser cutter at work and he rolled the steel himself, and they fit really well.
Fucking did the whole thing, but
so his are nice because they're gonna be wide enough that he could able to like put it basically just straight down and fill the whole tub in, and it's gonna look really clean. Like I was saying before, if you watch tub video, since I use 9" ones, I had to put it crooked and it made it so much more difficult. So I'm really excited to see how Drew's come out. All right, so we've officially moved on to the headache part of this. So I have both wire harnesses laid out right now. This harness right here is the harness that came in the chassis. This is the one that came out of Jip's extra shell. Now, this one was modded to be flipped inside the car. Essentially, like, this wraps around the nose of the car, and the previous owner, if you didn't watch the video, flipped it and hit it all into the dash, and then all the like light accessories, he extended the harnesses right here. So that'd be the passenger side lights, and that'd be the driver side lights. And so I really want to use this because now that we did the tubs, I'm going to want to tuck the harness, because if I try and put the harness over the tubs, it's going to look really bad. So I would not mind using the tuck harness again, but I got to make sure everything's there and I can make sense of it out of the car, so when I'm in the car, it's not a giant headache. Now, there's a few odd things about it. I've noticed this is an auto harness, this is a manual harness. The car was originally built with an SR in it, and that SR was running on a full AEM standalone ECU. So you can kind of tell in the harness that it was standalone because there's a few things that are chopped out and not just hooked up. I don't recognize this end. I could just be stupid and this could be a body connect, but I really don't know. I just don't recognize it, and it's definitely not on this harness. So I'm gonna take my time and just start to break this down and see what's good, because I really would love to just use this since it's already extended. Worst case scenario, I just have to cut these off and just spend an hour of my life just soldering, but it's totally worth it. So everything seems pretty good so far. Nothing's cut up too crazy. I'm really confused at what the hell this was, but I kind of remember that Nissan, every time they have something to do with airbags, they always wrap it in yellow tape for some reason. So I'm gonna safely assume that this isn't for the airbag module. It makes sense since it has such a big bolt in it too, to make sure it doesn't, you know, fail. So Richie and Drew making great progress on his tubs. Richie's little pre-cut tubs are saving so much time, it is unreal. So as you can see, it fits the strut tower perfectly, like on his initial cut, the template he made, and he has one panel going all the way down to the side. So That saves so much more metal. So now all he has to do is a base plate here and a side plate and he's done. So much easier. This is such a pain in the ass, but I got most of the things plugged in over here. I have to plug in all the ignition stuff. I gotta figure out where the hell I'm gonna tuck all these wires. But I pulled through the headlight harness right here, and this is plenty long enough now that I could basically, yeah, this thing's like 4 feet too long. Bring it up in the fender, snake it through here, and plug it in right here. So there'll be no wiring in the engine bay. It's definitely one of the least fun things I've done in a long time, but I think I made sense of it. It's not too stuffed under there anymore. I think everything else can push to the side. I had the fuse panel right here so I can get to it underneath the kick panel. This whole harness is for the ignition, so I'll run that after. I have it all tucked up right here, going over. So now I gotta tackle the passenger side. So I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out the chassis connect on this side. It's kind of looking like there isn't one, but that doesn't really make sense. So I'm gonna leave all of this down. Once the car is like, you know, running and everything and I know everything works, then I could just zip tie it all up and you don't see it. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it dangling, same on this side, but I'm gonna hopefully put the dash in, hope it fits with all this wiring, and I gotta do everything over here and such a mess. Sorry to bore you guys. So it fits tight, but it fits. So I'm gonna bolt it down and keep my fingers crossed. I am so sorry guys, I've been awful with filming today. I've been feeling like crap, but I just wanted to get things done. I kind of forget a lot to film. I'm still really bad at that. And when there's a lot of people in the garage, I tend not to film because I still feel a little awkward and just weird around it, but whatever. In the meantime, I was able to get the dash all tightened in. I got the cage cluster in, all the trim on it, and the center console in. So we should be all set with that. Now the interior is looking pretty complete, and I'm stoked. I would love to throw the seats in, but I'm gonna have to be back under that dash soon, and I'm not. It's gonna be a pain in the butt with the seats in, so we're gonna hold off. So I got the headlight harnesses tied up to the front. Now I'm gonna deal with those after, and those are all tucked. And this is the only wiring that should be going into the front of the car. So this is actually really, really cool. But I was hoping to get the whole headlight assembly on tonight. I went to go do that, and then I realized that the mounting brackets were really crappy. They're all rusty and they look like crap. So I decided to hit them with wrinkle paint. So I just hit these with a few coats. So I'm gonna let these dry overnight, and these should look really nice. Just cause like it's gonna look like crap compared to a freshly, you know, painted engine bay, and that takes not too long to do. So as you can see, they're all bent and busted on the old headlights. So I stole them from Jip's old headlights on his other shell. So kind of piecing things together. So really at this point, I do have to finish up with the brakes because it doesn't have any brakes on the whole entire car. I just ran the lines in the engine bay. So we're gonna do that with that another day. I'm gonna make Jip do that because I know he can handle that, and it's just dirty work that I'm gonna make him do. And then I need to get the power steering lines for the rack because they were busted when we got the car. I need a power steering pump for the engine itself because I just literally realized a second ago that we don't have a power steering pump. A lot of you guys might have not seen it yet, but for some reason I haven't mocked up with my Sylvia. But this is the front bumper he has for the car. It's actually in great condition. It has like a Type X styling, and I really, really love it. And we were fortunate enough to get it with the fog lights too from the previous owner, so we lucked out pretty well. So the front bumper is tunch. He still needs a rear bumper, and his side skirts, which are right here, they need some love, but I don't know if we're gonna use those yet because they're a lot more aggressive than the front bumper and it kind of sticks out. So when it comes to 240s, hatch kits are like really easy to find. Like we could find a hatch rear bumper and side skirts like any day for super cheap. Coupe, on the other hand, you could use a coupe side skirt on hatches and vice versa, so that's easy, but rear bumpers are really hard to find. Because I guess like there's not as many coupes around here as there are hatches, so the quantity of used parts, which is like the rear bumper and taillights, is probably the only thing that's not interchangeable in the trunk, obviously, so it makes it a little bit harder to find. So tomorrow, DJ is bringing down my engine stand, so we're gonna be able to blast this and make it look nice and clean. I'm thinking we might paint the block black. I think it'll look a lot nicer since it's like crusty iron block and it's gonna look like ass over time anyways. Okay, I'm sorry for all this talking at the end of the video. If you guys have survived the video this far, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to film too much today. I know the filming was complete trash, and like I said, apologize for it. I always feel really bad when I film a bad video, but tomorrow, hoping to make big moves. Maybe I can go pick up the engine harness for it. I'm actually buying it from Tommy FES, so maybe we'll see him. we'll see what he's up to. Hopefully we can go get it, but I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting late and I'm sick. I just wanna go home. If there's any like small mods or anything you'd want me to do on the hatch, just so I can kind of show you how to do it yourself, maybe, let me know. I don't know. Just trying to get ideas on what we could do. Now that we're gonna be waiting on parts for the next couple of days, I wanna see what other mods we could do to it, and I wanna be able to show you guys how to do some cool things with your car also for pretty cheap. So, find it. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more fantastic content on the budget drift build, and I will see you guys tomorrow.